Is it time to be doomy and gloomy about the Detroit Red Wings? The answer is absolutely not. No, I mean, the team is one of the best in the NHL. They are near the top of the total National Hockey League standings, and they are coming out of the gate hot with a season that is looking like one of the best they've had in years. Yes, it's true, the Red Wings are no longer tied for 1 or 2 or 3 in the league anymore, but they're still there, tied for 6th. That's fine. But right now is an interesting time because the Wings, after starting the season out very, very well, they've gone 5-5 in their last 10, and the results, at least as of late, are not as plentiful as they were, let's just say, towards the beginning of the year. Yesterday, the Detroit Red Wings lost 4-1 to the New York Rangers at home. It was their first game at home ever since their Western American road trip. They visited St. Louis, and then they visited California, and then they went to Nevada. So lots of travel for the Red Wings the past few days here, and this game yesterday was the first one back at home. We saw the comments the day before from Todd McLellan where he said, yeah, you guys are going to say that teams that go on road trips and come back home will play poorly at home. And that's a loser mentality. They're only going to use those excuses if they play a crappy game, and we do not plan to play a crappy game. That's essentially the message Todd McLellan said into the media after the Red Wings got back, and it was really hype. It was exciting, and I compared that to Aaron Smith of Attack on Titan. But yesterday's game, unfortunately, was quite the crappy performance. And I was watching it at the dentist. I was staring up into the ceiling with all of these metal tools and stuff in my mouth and just kind of watching the Red Wings lose eventually. They lost 4-1 at home, and Jonathan Quick looked like a brick wall. That guy's leading the NHL in save percentage now this year. It's ridiculous just how good Quick is at the ripe old age of 68. But ultimately, the Detroit Red Wings didn't really make it too difficult on Jonathan Quick. The Rangers had some really good moments. They stole the puck and they made things difficult for the Red Wings and their goaltender in this one. Sorry, Cam Talbot, you probably deserved a little bit better. But the Red Wings, for all intents and purposes, they got outchanced. They totally did not deserve to win this game. Even though it was 1-1 at the end of the first, they still had opportunities. And don't even get me started on Patrick Kane not being able to shoot the puck in front of an open goal because Jonathan Quick hooked his goalie paddle into Kane's stick and prevented him from shooting. Aside the unlucky parts like that, when you think about what happened this game and you think about what happened the previous game and you just kind of look at the Red Wings as a whole, this is the status as posted about by Max Boltman. The Red Wings fall to the Rangers 4-1. Detroit, with just 3 goals combined over their last 3 games, and 5 goals in their last 4. They are 9-6. Now, the 9-6 record is awesome. That is well above 500. It's amazing that they're able to get the results that they did, but this is kind of what I mean. The Wings haven't really been scoring too many goals as of late. And believe me, it's making me very uncomfortable because I've got DeBrincat, reactivated Kane, and I got Lucas Raymond on my main fantasy team. These guys, when they don't score, I lose and I don't win weeks. But ultimately, it's kind of a symptom of the status of this team at the moment. They're not finding ways to put the puck in the net, but, they're actually still doing all right. When you look at some of the statistics, this was posted about on the Detroit Red Wings subreddit. Max Boltman on Twitter said the Wings have 5 goals in their last 4 games. They're not going to win many with this level of scoring, and it's just painful to watch. But a reply from Gray the Dork 12 said, hey, they've scored 5 goals in their past 4 games, but they have something like an 11 expected goals rating. It's a brutal combo of lack of clinicality and getting goalied. Now, let's just be clear. 11 goals in 4 games, not the best, But it's almost at 3 goals a game. That's a lot easier to win games with if you're getting 2-point-something goals every time you suit up. 5 goals in 4 games is really not ideal. It's hard to win games 1-0. It's hard to win games when you're not getting any goals at all. But this just boils down to the same conversation that we had a few days ago, when we noted that the Detroit Red Wings were in very unique territory. They were one of the best teams in the NHL at the time of this video's publication, yet they were still in a really bad spot, PDO and analytically. Now I say, oh, they're in a bad spot analytically. That just essentially means that the numbers weren't skewing in their favor. The Red Wings had high PDO numbers, which indicate a lack of luck. They were getting a lot of shots saved, and they were getting goaltending that wasn't really as good as some of the other goaltending around the NHL. So for Detroit to literally see these results be put to paper like this, oh yeah, that's true, they've got 5 goals in their last 4 games. That's not ideal, right? But they have 11 expected goals. Literally half of the chances that they've had that could have been or should have been goals haven't been goals. And the sample is just in the last 5. This includes the game against Vegas before this game against New York. A lot of folks in the comments section of our videos and all over social media were saying, yeah, they lost 1-0 to Ivan Barbashev and the Vegas Golden Knights. That's not ideal. You don't want to see your team lose. But at the same time, it's like, they played pretty well. They had chances, they had opportunities, they just couldn't bury it. And at some point, burying it is the job. You get paid to win games and to bury the puck. So if you're not doing it at some level, it is inappropriate to pretend that the results are there when they're not. But it very well looks like it could have been there had the luck just shifted a little bit to the side. If the watch worn by Lady Luck was just 1 or 2 or 3 degrees pointing the other direction, it would have gone another way. The Red Wings would have had more goals if Patrick Kane was able to bury it in that open net. The Red Wings would have had more goals if any of the plentiful chances they had on Akira Schmid actually went in. This is all a duh conversation, of course. Oh, they'd have more goals if they scored. Lego, you're so insightful. But that's not the point. The point is, they are actually putting themselves in the right spots to get these offensive opportunities, but they just don't convert. Here's a reply that I wanted to highlight to end off this video. It was posted on the Red Wings subreddit as well. The Travis Hamonic fight against the New York Rangers summed up the night. This team hasn't had the same toughness since Michael Brandsteg-Newgard got sent down. True, El Technico says. That spark and grittiness is gone. We also need Travis Hamonic off the team. He is a liability. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna talk about Hamonic at this point. I already gave my opinions on that guy. I never really liked him to begin with. But Michael Brandsteg-Newgard, is his absence and the buzzsaw attitude that he has, is that absence actually affecting the Red Wings in a way that's a little bigger than meets the eye? Is Brandsteg-Newgard's demotion to the AHL a catalyst for this lack of offensive capitalization by the Detroit Red Wings? Is this a canon event? Was that a turning point? I'm not sure. It's true that Brandsteg-Newgard probably wasn't fully ready to be an NHL player for 82 games, but you couldn't deny that there was some impact that he had with his forechecking and with the pace that he played the game with and just how eager he was to get involved. It didn't always result in points like it did in the preseason, but he was a very useful piece when he was with Detroit, and I do question if that's an element that many fans on here would agree or disagree with. Something's wrong with the Detroit Red Wings. Is this the answer? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button also. If you didn't, then dislikes will also be very greatly appreciated. Comments appreciated the most because they help out with the algorithm. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.